Welcome to the Esoerotic Dark Feminine Magic Podcast. My name is Crimson, creatrix of Esoeroticism, and I help mystically minded folks awaken their dark feminine magic. Welcome to the Portal of Enchantment. Hello and welcome, Tara Valkyrie, to the Esoerotic Dark Feminine Magic Podcast. How are you today?
I'm wonderful.
Yay.
A little warm, but Texas.
Yeah, it's hot in North Carolina too. Oh my word. And it is July 6th. So we are a little late doing the July astro forecast, but you know what? It's summer. We don't adhere to rigid structures or systems. We do what we want.
There's plenty in July that
we haven't gotten there yet.
Yeah. If we wanted to, I was just telling Crimson, we could make the July podcast 6 hours long, like starting from today.
Well, so do not fret, my pets. You didn't miss anything. What would you say? I know you're so good at giving like an overarching theme. What is the theme for July?
I would say July is opportunity through action.
Ooh, opportunity through action. I love that. Well, what should how do we want to start with maybe just going? This is a big one because, I'm all into the astrologies too. And it's like, oh my word.
Yeah. It's the reason why I arrived at that is, and I mean, y'all can get on the internet and you can search your favorite astrologers. Like every astrologer is talking about July.
Yeah.
There's aspects of it, later in the month that they call the Great Reset, the New Worlds. There are so many things going on, and depending on what flavor you want, you can get like pretty spicy, pretty fear-mongery. You can get like pretty out there. It's a layer cake. It's a mix of both, and always we have sovereignty. Which, for those of y'all, if you're new, if you need a refresher, that just means we have free will. We can choose how we're responding to the energy. That's all it is. That's all it is. And I arrived at, I was debating on opportunity through action and abundance through action. And it's really one and the same. And all that means is we have a lot of high energy transits, high energy interactions between planets where we are going to be called to act.
Okay.
And the two main transits that are happening, I'm not going to list all 42 of them. I picked like 3 that were like, ooh, this is cool.
This is a philosophical podcast, y'all. We are not teaching you astrology. This is not a course. This is like a general, energetic, philosophical response through maybe a different lens than the pop astrologers or the doomsday astrologers. So they know that. So yes, go on.
Yes. So a lot of what's happening, we're having a lot of interactions that are either squares, oppositions, or sextiles. And just quick review, a square, they're all growth opportunities. A square creates tension, and the way I remember a square is it kind of backs us into a corner, and it makes us have to decide, okay, this is what I'm going with. And the only way you can do a square wrong, and I'm using air quotes if you're listening to this, is if you don't take action. But it's pretty impossible to not take action with a square. Like they make it really intense. And then we have oppositions, which is just it's what it sounds like. It's a pull. It's like a tug of war between two energies, and it's making us realize that there's this polarity. And oftentimes in our lives, whether it's personal or collective, we've tipped too far onto one side of that opposition. We've tipped too far into one energy, and it's causing us, it's creating this tension, making us recalibrate, reorient. And then sextiles, those are my favorite because that is just, it's flowy. It's flowy. it's often more internal changes. A shift in our mindset, a realization where we have been limiting ourselves. We've all had those experiences where we're like, oh wow, this is so easy. Why did I, because it's usually us, why did I make this so hard? So, and then, you know, the one I will talk about that wasn't a square, opposition, or a sextile, what is a conjunction, which if you have not been living under a rock, you have heard about the Mars-Uranus conjunction that was exact on the 4th of July.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which really was like nothing crazy.
No. So it was nothing crazy, and if you want to listen to a great rant that's also educational, go listen to Helena Woods. She gives a great rant about y'all.
What'd she say?
She was like, yes, it was exact on the 4th. It doesn't mean that's like
happens on the 4th.
Yeah. I look at it as dropping a pebble in a pond and the ripples. So even if it's in the middle of the pond and you know it happened, it's going to take a minute.
Yeah, I think it was the perfect opening for the month.
Yes, and that's
energetically, like, yes. Okay, now we're going.
We're going. And yeah, a lot of crazy shit happened over the 4th. You know, and she also gives a rundown of all the events, both national and local. There were a lot of fireworks stands. There were a lot of storms. There was a lot of upheaval. Mars's action, it was conjunct. It came together with Uranus. Uranus is upheaval. The way I look at it is it's an opening to the upheaval in the status quo of how we typically take action or how we typically react. And yes, it can be volatile. It can be violent. It can be unsettling. And it is a catalyst for profound change. And I think that's the other thing about July is there's so many things that are catalysts that are beginning this month, but we're in the energy for years. We're in the energy until 2028. So, you know.
Yeah, it's beginning. And I think for a lot of people, they have felt it. And I feel like you'll probably bring up Neptune at one point, but I do feel like we have a really powerful Neptunian influence right now. So like anyone listening to it, if you're like, oh my gosh, action, I don't know what's going on. I feel like everything is like up in the air and hazy. That's yes.
You're in the right spot.
you can thank Daddy Neptune for that. So
yes, and I love that you brought up Daddy Neptune because that's the other thing that we're unlearning. The ironic thing is we think, you know, everyone's like Neptune's in Aries, and we think of Aries as very Martian energy of like, no, you just instinctually act. Yeah. Neptune in Aries does not manifest that way. But often what ends up happening is it's a return to self-trust. It's a return, you know, Neptune in Pisces was kind of the heyday of the external guru. Yeah. You know,
we got a little too out there, I think.
Yeah, we got a little crazy out there, yeah. I missed my chance to start a cult.
We were sunning our buttholes. We were
oh my god, I'd forgotten that. Yes.
Forgot about the sunning of the buttholes. Yeah, everyone was like extraterrestrial star seeds. It was just, it got a little too weird. So
everyone was, we were seeking out, it was this weird time because we were learning lessons around discernment and trusting ourselves by getting into a lot of situations where it's like, oh wow, okay, this is what happens when I give away my power. Yes. You know, and so Neptune in Aries is the self guru. It is coming back to self. Now, like every energetic axis, there's shadow sides to that, just as there were shadow sides to Neptune and Pisces. We may have a lot of sociopaths that like, I trusted myself and I was supposed to burn down my house. No, still not okay. But the higher manifestation, or the higher evolution of this energy is we're no longer dependent on this external messaging force, and not just in the witchy community, the astrology community, but this general departure from this. I mean, we exist in a capitalist society. We are inundated with marketing messages that's like, hey, you need this to be cool. Hey, you need this, you need these things, or you need these people to tell you what to do because you are inadequate. Mm-hmm. And we're in this journey back to ourselves and recognizing that we have all the tools we need within us. And yes, Daddy Neptune is going to be interacting with a bunch of the different planets. I mean, one of the big transits that we're going to be feeling for years is later this month. It's Neptune sextiles with Uranus, and it's just going to be. I totally said Uranus.
She's a serious astrologer.
I'm sorry, Uranus.
Pinky finger out, we say Uranus.
Uranus. You can tell I was looking at astrology memes before I got on to this podcast. I hadn't cleansed my palate. Anyway, watch out for Neptune sextiling Uranus. Use plenty of lube. Neptune's a good planet.
So we know this sextile is a beneficial aspect, and we know that Uranus is all about like doing things differently. It's a bit rebellious. It's like unique. It's very out of nowhere, unexpected. And then we have Neptune. Neptune's all about like dreams and like, but also illusions, but also like, being okay with the unknown and living in that like that hazy in between of the unknown, of the mystery.
Yeah, I love to think of Neptune as truth without logic.
I love that. Ooh, that's so good.
Yeah. I got that from Titanic, you guys. When Rose is looking at the Picasso paintings and she's like, "There's truth, but no logic." And I was like, "Oh my God, it's Neptune."
Yeah.
So, you can credit Rose DeWitt Bucator on the Titanic for me. But it's so true. Neptune, because oftentimes what happens with Neptune is whenever we have movement of Neptune, whether it's interacting with a planet, it's going retrograde, it's going direct, it's crossing over one of our personal angles or planets, we have some kind of realization that we have been disillusioned. And old school astrology, which was very fatalistic, was real like, oh, it hides the truth. It's disillusion and undoing. But now in this modern age where we're like, no, we have sovereignty, we have free will. We are the masters of our destinies, and Neptune also often reveals something, or it shows us something where at first we may not understand it, we may overlook it, we may not know what it means, or we know what it means, we don't like it, so we push it away.
Fair.
And Neptune's like, baby, I got time. And and Neptune is so powerful. If you've ever had a powerful Neptune transit, meaning crossing your ascendant, your descendant, your midheaven, your IC, one of the beautiful things about Neptune is it clears away the things that are not meant for us. And with this Uranus sextile Neptune on the 15th, it's exact on the 15th, it's this, because it's a sextile, it's more like when we realize that we've been operating in a in a situation, in a level that maybe at one point served us, but no longer serves us, it's not as rude of an awakening. It's more like Neptune shows us the truth, and Uranus says, yeah, and here's innovation. Here's a way through that you didn't see before. And I don't know the exact dates, but I know they interact like 6 more times in a sextile over the next several years. So we're in this innovation energy. We're in this energy of heightened intuition. And this is why embodiment is so important, kids. Because when we are embodied in that intuition, we're really able to discern, okay, is this me? Is this, or is this something else? It's like this article I had read recently about, sometimes dreams are messages and sometimes it's your brain's unsupervised creative time.
Don't try to make meaning of that. Yeah.
Sometimes it's just the weird shit that your brain is like, we have a box of this. It's been sitting around for a week. But it's this really powerful energy as we're navigating kind of this new paradigm.
Yeah. I heard a quote the other day that clarity does not come through the mind.
Oh.
And I was like, jot that down. And I believe that. We would love to hear, comment, let us know, because that feels very much what resonates with me right now. That is, it can't be logical. It doesn't matter. You just know, and you don't have to reverse engineer, qualify it, or quantify it. It's like, if you just sense this as a steady, a steady guide or arrow in a direction, you just have to trust it right now, because, we've been saying we're entering a new paradigm, and it does feel like July really is the portal for it. And this idea that like logic is based on the old paradigm.
Yes. Logic, the whole hustle culture. I mean, we know that's been dying for a while. Yeah. But just that kind of that old mindset of there must be suffering. There must be this, there's only one way of doing things. We are in this, things are unraveling. And it's like I've said before, when we talk about tarot, if y'all know tarot, you've seen the Tower card. It looks pretty crazy. I love the tarot card because I've always seen it as liberation.
Yeah.
And that's what I like to look at as July is, yes, there's a high potential for volatility. When you have Mars and Uranus interacting with each other, that is fire and gasoline. However, I'm going to use this past weekend as an example. There was potential for there to be a lot more kind of like human volatility. And in some places there were. In a lot of places, people were like, you know what? I'm just going to chill. I'm going to take time for me. I'm going to relax. I'm going to connect with my loved ones, or I'm going to connect with myself. And there was a lot of just more kind of aware observation energy. And I think we're going to see a lot of that as well.
Would you say a good reflection for us during this time with this Uranus, Neptune interaction would be to take a look at in your life, where are you just I just say choosing suffering, but choosing suffering and potentially conceiving, being very Uranian about it, very like rebellious and going against the status quo, and say, maybe how am I unknowingly choosing this, and what would it look like if instead of these conventions that I've become so familiar with, I choose a different direction?
Yes, I love that, because that touches on a huge thing that is very important as we move through July and beyond, is you are what you create. And Yeah, you are what you create, and what you create becomes a part of you. And that, there's a different podcast for quantum physics, quantum awakening. But the reality is like it's choosing the mindset. And as always, this is not about positive vibes only, but it's looking at where do we need to renegotiate our contract with the universe? Where are we assuming that something is going to be bad or something is not going to work out?
Yes. Like, what if it all doesn't fall apart if you choose a different direction?
Yes.
Because there is no certainty right now.
It's true. And in that statement, what you just said, there is no certainty. There's one iteration of that can sound very scary. Yeah. And there's another iteration that's like, that's awesome. I can choose my own adventure.
Well, and that's why this is through the lens of the dark feminine. Hello, that's the womb of endless potentiality that we find in the darkness. And that's the lens we're choosing to move through this. And not in the, oh my gosh, I require certainty. That's not very dark feminine, you know?
Yeah, the beauty of the dark feminine is there are so many paths. And oftentimes allowing for it's this dance between recognizing what is and then realizing that from that there are paths forward, and that there's not just one path forward that is success or joy or release or whatever it might be. And that one, I think collectively we're stepping into a portal where we're all being asked to learn that. If you're already in a dark feminine practice or an esoerotic practice, you're ahead of the game, because you're already used to working within that energy in your body. And
I have to say, I have a lot of conversations with a lot of different people, and it is the people that are a bit more mystical, that are a bit more unconventional, that are feeling all of this shifting energy right now. The people who are still very much embedded in traditional systems and structures are not necessarily feeling this yet, which I find really interesting, because I'm like, they will. So if you are feeling this energy right now, know that you are actually on the forefront of moving through this, and that those who are not feeling it yet will.
Yes. And I'll add, if you're not feeling the higher vibration of nothing is certain, if you're still stuck in the lower vibe, like I meet that with compassion. Right. And this is your invitation to pause and to look at, where that origin story comes from. Yeah. Because we all have, part of it is we've all been on this, deconditioning journey. And I have a Virgo moon, so I'm naturally prone. I want everything perfect before I begin. And I'm naturally thinking, what could go wrong so I can fix it ahead of time? Yeah. And it's a daily practice. I will share with you right now. It's a daily practice for me to be like, let's reframe that. Let's be realistic. Like, I'm not going to go tend to my bees naked. I know there's that woman on YouTube. More power to her. I'm not there in my journey.
Yes. No, ma'am.
Yeah, she's not like all the way naked, but she doesn't wear any gear, which, I mean, great. I am not that one with the bees.
Well, I won't even go near the bees, so you're one step ahead of me.
But it's just the best thing we can be doing right now, because the other thing too is, so the 15th we've got the Uranus sextile Neptune. Then on the 18th, and I kind of clumped these together, on the 18th we've got Uranus trine Pluto. And both Neptune and Pluto are retrograde at this time. And the reason why I invite you to pause when you're getting bogged down, or if you're still bogged down in this isn't working, but this is the only way I know, so I have to keep pushing forward. With love, Pluto is going to put a stop to this.
I say, enough is enough.
Yeah. Yeah, Pluto is going to be like, stop it.
Oh Oh my gosh. I have to say, as someone who took that advice, heeded that advice a bit ago, the relief that comes from that, and really just giving yourself the space of saying, okay, I'm not going to just keep running full speed against this wall anymore. I am going to pause and use that Neptunian energy to maybe like feel into the hazy potentiality of what would happen if I went in another direction. 10 out of 10 recommend. So
Yes. And it is, again, it's a daily practice, and there's going to be times, because I guarantee y'all, Crimson and I did not have like one awakening where we're like, oh, this is the new paradigm, now I'm here. Like, we've also had those that meandering where you're feeling good, you're moving forward, and then there's that, oh, I don't know what I'm doing, what's the plan? Oh.
there has been some somatic emotional movement. There has been some screaming amongst the trees. There has been a lot. And so, yeah, man, we're all in this together. And I think it's just recognizing that this is something that is collectively happening, and that this is something that is illogically happening, and spiritually happening, and mystically happening, and whatever, revolutionarily happening, and being okay with being uncomfortable.
Yes.
And getting yourself like with homies and communities that are also moving through this, I must say, like having people I can talk to, having groups that are like, I can say, well, have you heard of this astrology? And they're like, oh yeah, girl, like this is what's, that's why, hey, if you're listening, you're in our community, and that's why we're having this conversation to be like, you are not suffering alone.
You're, because I think, and I know I've had feelings where I'm like, am I crazy? Am I making this harder than it needs to be? Because it's also just for my empaths, my psychics, my energetically sensitive people, this is a really, really ramped up time.
Yeah.
And so, just talking to each other. I mean, I know for me, I feel better even when I just like, I text someone, I'm like, okay, hey, I had really insane dreams last night. And they're like, oh yeah, me too. And just little things, we're all moving through it.
Yeah.
And you're talking through it. And I'm just gonna say, I'm gonna be blunt. If you're around people that are like, that's not real, this is your invitation to find new people.
Because they'll be like, oh shit, it is real when it hits them.
Yes. And Pluto plays an active role throughout July, and I'm going to get to the specifics of why in a minute. But the bottom line to remember with Pluto is it's always about power dynamics. No matter at what level, it's power dynamics. It's either asking you, where have you given up power in order to feel in control?
Okay.
Or where have you given up power in order to maintain peace for others? Where have you either perpetuated something that is unhealthy towards someone else, or allowed for something unhealthy to be done to you? And y'all calm down. I'm not talking about like when just bad shit happens. I'm not saying that anyone is oh my God, I said that one time and like people freaked out.
Oh my gosh,
road, it still haunts me. I'm like, no, I'm not saying.
Yes, it's not justifying bad behavior.
Exactly.
It's not like none of this is ever justifying bad behavior. Right. But in the new threshold, when we pass through this threshold, Tara and I, we are on this. We are in a new paradigm where we are not going to be triggering people through seemingly very obvious statements.
Yes. But so the thing about the reason why I brought up Pluto. So, at the end of last month, on the 30th, Jupiter moved into Leo. Jupiter's going to be in Leo for the next year. Keyword for that is audacity.
I'm just glad it's out of Cancer. I'm done. I'm done with the big feelings.
With the big feelings. So, on the one hand, Jupiter in Leo, the high vibe of that is that's giving you the hype to take that action that I was talking about. This is the month where there's going to be opportunities, and we're going to sense them, but we're going to have to go for it. We're going to have to take action on our behalf. Go. And Jupiter and Leo is like our biggest hype chick. Jupiter and Leo is like, yes, queen, get it.
Yes.
Oh, majesty. Now, the other thing, Jupiter is that planet of expansion. It is going to inflate, blow up, emphasize anything that it's interacting with. So that can be awesome. That can also be high drama, lower vibe. Jupiter and Leo is high drama. Now, Pluto is in the early degrees of Aquarius.
So you know what that means.
Yes. Jupiter is in the early degrees of Leo. They are opposite each other. We have an exact opposition between Jupiter and Pluto on July 20th. Now, what I thought was cool, I'm looking at my notes because I went down this little rabbit hole and I was like, ooh, I have to share about this.
Yes, please.
So you may have seen on the internet a lot of these mystical posts that's like, something that was taken from you in 2020 is now being returned to you. And it's like, and yeah. Or something that you began in 2020 is now coming. Let me tell you where they're getting that from. So in 2020, we had a Jupiter-Pluto conjunction. And Jupiter and Pluto go through these conjunctions, then they go through it's a conjunction, then there's an opposition, which is a culminating of that cycle. So about every 6 years, they come together because Pluto moves super duper slow. Jupiter's moving through one sign per year. So about every 6 years, they're either conjunct each other or opposing. So in 2020, they were conjunct each other. Now they're opposite each other. And when they were conjunct, I believe it was in Capricorn in 2020. Now it is. Yeah. And so now, Pluto's in Aquarius, Jupiter is in Leo. And then also, if you look back, if you keep going back, one thing I noted was the last time we had a Jupiter-Pluto conjunction that was pretty significant was 2007 in late degree Sagittarius. Okay, so for my youngins out there, that was the housing crisis, baby.
Okay, for those of you who didn't lose their job, that was definitely, yes, that was our last financial crisis. I definitely lost my job. I know a lot of people had there was the housing crisis. There was, a lot of financial things.
There was, the bottom dropped out of a lot of industries, a lot of tech industries.
Don't worry, we bailed out the banks. Don't worry, Wall Street all got their bonuses.
Yeah, don't worry, the banks and corporations were fine.
Oh my gosh! Even though, it was when Bear Stearns went under, and that was, and we all paid the price anyway. That's not this kind of podcast. Go on.
Yes. So, and then 6 years later, we had, so that was in 2013. Okay. So through 2013, 2014, so, roughly 12, 13 years ago, the last time that, that was when we had another opposition.
Okay.
And we had Pluto in Sagittarius, Pluto in the early signs of Capricorn, and Jupiter in the early degree of Cancer. In 2013, that was when the financial markets, the housing market, finally started to recover.
Okay.
So usually what happens is at the conjunction, we'll have some kind of thing, which if y'all remember 2020, that conjunction, some crazy shit happened.
I heard.
Yeah, you may have heard. That was a really strange year. Completely overturned social norms and expectations and the way we lived our life. And also, so the thing is, my heart kind of reached out for you, Crimson, because you lost your job in the 2007 crash.
That's okay. I hated that job. Go on.
um, I was able to buy my first house
In 2000. In 2013?
in
No, 2007.
2008.
Oh yeah, because it crashed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's amazing.
yeah. So I highlight that not to like rub salt in your wound.
No, it was the best thing that ever happened to me. And you always think about that when these bad things happen. It put me on the freelance. It was when I started freelancing, and I started making way more money freelancing than I ever did at a full-time job. So yeah.
Okay, good. That makes me happy, because what I was gonna, what I want to share is, anytime we have Jupiter and Pluto, whether they're coming together in a conjunction or an opposition, yes, there is some kind of toppling of the power dynamic, and there is incredible freedom.
It's true. So yes, the example would be I was in full-time corporate and, working at a very prestigious architectural firm in Soho in New York. And because, because they stopped building, and so lost that job. But what that opened me up to was liberated from this belief that I had to have a full-time job. And it opened me up to this idea of freelancing. It wasn't like easy, it was a difficult transition, but it definitely put me on a path of being able to have this less conventional way of making money.
Yeah. And that's the thing, is if you look at each of these, you can kind of go back every 6 years and look at whether they came together or they were opposing each other.
That's fun.
Yeah, it's really, really fun, because I can also track my career trajectory, and where I was deciding I didn't want to work in public education forever, and I was going to leave, and I had these opportunities, and that's where I began my study of embodied feminine movement and started to study somatics, and then it continued, and now here we are.
Look at you now, killing it.
Yeah. So, and this is also energy that we're in for years. But what it signifies, and you can also look at where, not only just going back over the years, but if you have your birth chart, for example, right now, you can look at where's Leo, where's Aquarius, specifically the early degrees. What houses are those in? Where are you going to be liberated in your life, whether you're ready for it or not? Where is the best thing that could happen to you going to occur?
Well, and that, I don't mean to jump ahead, but the nodal shifts.
Yes.
Same axis.
Yes.
Leo and Aquarius. So I think that's a really good point. If anyone, knows how to pull up their chart, what houses do Leo and Aquarius rule? Because there is going to be big changes there between that opposition and the nodal shifts.
Yes. And that's the other thing too, is with the nodal shifts occurring, those occur officially on July 26th.
Sorry, I just jumped us ahead. Keep going and we'll get there.
Yeah, no, it's all good, because that's relevant to a lot of the shifting energy. But yeah, so the July 20th is the official Jupiter-Pluto opposition. Yeah. And we have the other interesting thing too. I'm just going to point this out. So toward the end of the month, and again, this is like Leo, and this is so like Leo Aquarius energy. I'm going to call out you Aquarius people. Y'all love to pretend that you don't want the spotlight. Of course you do. You are on the same axis as Leo, and I prove it on July 29th. Y'all's full moon is insane.
Ooh, do tell us more.
Yeah. So we have the full moon in Aquarius on July 29th. It's opposite the sun, because obviously moon is always opposite the sun. But then the sun is also conjunct Jupiter. So, yeah. So we're having this really powerful, in a way, it is this abundance that feels overwhelming. Yeah. Or an opportunity that feels, for some of us, it may feel too good to be true. Or we might be like, this is what I've always wanted, but wait, I'm not ready for it. Spoiler alert, yes, you are. Go.
That was gonna be my next question. Is this energy we should move forward with?
Yeah, you can do your makeup while you're on the private jet. Like, just you can do your makeup in the limo. Like,
just go. Jump on the back of the bike.
Yes, just go. Yeah. And so there's a lot of, like I said, the energy of this month is, it's really dynamic, and that can feel really cool. That it can feel really cool and feel very uncomfortable, because it is just, and again, this is like the portal month. And then, like I said, on the 26th, we have the official switch over of the nodes into Aquarius as the north node, Leo as the south node. And then they're in Aquarius and Leo for the next 18 months, the way they were in Pisces and Virgo. And this contributes to, so part of the Pisces and Virgo nodal journey
for those, I'm going to pause because I know that some people may not know what we're talking about. So basically the north node and the south node switches axes every 18 months. And the north node, it's kind of what we're headed towards collectively. South node kind of brings up the shadow of the sign it's in and has this kind of, well, you say the word like liberate from that energy. And so for the past 18 months, we've had the north node in Pisces and the south node in Virgo, right? And so we've been really trying to like release this idea around perfectionism, and we're really led towards like being intuitively led and right. And so that's kind of like this collective energy that we're all working through.
Yes. And the other cool thing about the south node, both transit wise and natally, because if you've pulled your chart, you have natal north and south node. The other gift of the south node is when we're going through this transit, for example, through Virgo, the south node is, yes, it's things that we are releasing. So you nailed it with, we're releasing this obsession with perfectionism.
And you're releasing the toxic part of that sign, not the good. You're not like, well, I don't have to care about details anymore. Well,
I'm not showering anymore. Like,
yes. Yes, there are great qualities of Virgo that is not what's being talked about. The south node is the toxic qualities. Oh my gosh. Please start in the shower.
But yeah, and you know, we released that there's only one way to do this, and it is logically and linearly. That was a big theme. I always look at the south node as we're moving through these transits, we are curating our toolbox.
I love that.
Yeah, because the other thing we realized with the south node in Virgo is, wow, there's all of these holistic medicinal gifts in our planet that we have not been appreciating or we have not been using. And in combination with the Pisces North Node, like we started realizing, the use of ketamine to treat PTSD, the wider use of cannabis, the wider use of psilocybin, microdosing. We have been, the studies of GLP-1s for addiction. There's been, I know you and I have been doing a lot of study on holistic methods for healthy aging, for healthy memory care, things like that.
This is why perimenopausal got so hot the past 18 months.
Yes. And I love that too, because I'm just like, why, I love that we're talking so much about perimenopause, menopause, because it's a universal cycle that like we all have gone through eons. And for whatever reason, there was this weird stigma for the longest time. And I'm glad that finally we're going to talk about this And then, spoiler alert, it's gotten more hype because they figured out that men have cycles too. Now it's important, you guys.
So, okay, so we're wrapping up that cycle now at the end of July. So, y'all, if you're getting any final lessons from that, pay attention. But now you said the North Node's going into Aquarius, the South Node is going into Leo. Ooh.
Yeah. So we're wrapping up lessons. This month is we're really wrapping up lessons around trusting our discernment. That was a huge lesson of the Pisces Virgo axis. Like we said at the beginning of the podcast, the death of the external guru. But being empowered, stepping into that higher vibe of Pisces and Virgo energy, trusting ourselves, recognizing that there is so much out there, there's so much potential that we don't have all the answers and we're not supposed to yet. Coming back to trusting ourselves. So then when we go into Aquarius and Leo, part of what we're curating with Leo is we're releasing a lot of the lower vibe ego stuff. We're also, releasing that need to perform for external validation. We're curating, I have something beautiful to offer the world. You have something beautiful to offer the world. There is light enough for all of us. We are all valuable. Whether we follow the mainstream, whether we have our own way of doing things, we're all valuable. We all are worthy. With the North Node in Aquarius, this is asking us to step into a greater awareness of the fate of others is the fate of us. Whether that's our planet, whether that's people in our community, whether that's people, across the globe.
I love this. It feels right on time. It feels long overdue. And I know that this is why a lot of astrologers are saying, expect this to be a really big shift in social media, because so much of social media has been based on that kind of we're grossed out by it Leo energy, the toxic Leo energy of look at this haul of bunch of crap I got from China, or look at my $100,000 Birkin, or
right.
Just influencers people who were successful just by being egocentric.
Yes.
People don't have an interest in that anymore. It's coming off as tone deaf. It's coming off as disinteresting. And so social media really, and people aren't going to want to give their attention to that anymore. And so there's really going to be a shift. I'm not saying it's going away, but I do like the idea of social media shifting into a way that is a little more considered of maybe the collective. It's not it's all oh, it's kumbaya, heal the world, or anything like that. But what's gonna work is gonna be different from what used to work.
Yes. And that, we're gonna see that on so many levels. On the high vibe, we're gonna see a lot of medical innovation. We're gonna see a lot of technological innovation. We're going to see a lot of improvement and awareness around, human rights, speaking out for marginalized groups. The thing that we're going to have to work through, we're all aware of just AI. And we're at the stage right now, I think about us with AI right now, and I think of the Industrial Revolution and the Radium Girls, which those were the girls that would paint the watches. They just discovered radium, uranium, and it was this glow-in-the-dark paint, and they thought it was the coolest shit. It was at the turn of the century, and these young women would wet the tip of their brush with their tongues to make it really, because they had to paint these little numbers, and then they would dip it in the radium paint, and then they ended up contaminating themselves, and it is horrific. Trigger warning if you want to go search about it. But basically, our body stores radium. It thinks it's calcium, so it stores it in the nearest bones. So there are these horrific pictures of women with rotting jaws and two things are horrible. One, just the agony that they were in, and then two, I know this is surprising for this country, you guys, there was a corporate cover-up.
No, Tara! Corporations would never.
Yeah. So they would drag out these lawsuits until these women died, and they wouldn't pay out their families or anything like that. And, you know, that was where they coined the term, you know, we know just enough to be dangerous. Right now, I think we're in that gleeful, oh, AI can do all this, you know, it can make art for me, it can balance my budget, it can, you know, automate. And let me be clear, there are incredible things that AI can do. However, we're just moving so quickly that we're, again, like every other fucking thing humans do, we're not considering the environment, we're not considering how it impacts people. You know, the tech industry is going through massive layoffs. So part of what we're going to be exploring is, okay, if we're restructuring society again, how do we take care of the people?
Yeah.
How do we take care of our home? And so there's a lot of things that we're going to be addressing within that are both incredible and then like really dark and creepy.
Yeah, it's fascinating. It's so fascinating. But I absolutely believe that AI is going to be something that is going to be influential in things moving forward, whatever that looks like. And, you know, our consideration of it's not going anywhere. It's not going away.
No,
like that's not a thing. But like, how do we work with it in a way that isn't detrimental to the earth and to each other? And how do we it's not AI's fault. It's the humans' fault. It's always our fault. Like you can't blame it's not uranium's fault. It's the human's fault. Yeah. And so yeah, what that looks like. And I even saw a headline today. Even though I have been off social media for over 3 weeks now, which is wild. Wow. Yeah, love it. No desire to go back. I'll figure it out. I'm going to probably have to go back at some point, but you actually still get all the news. And so, but yeah, a headline today about, how they're realizing how much money the AI companies really do actually need in order to not be like quote unquote bankrupt, which I'm like, well, we never let these bastards go bankrupt. So somehow we'll end up paying for it. But like we are finally coming to a reckoning of like, okay, there's some kind of why we're allowing these companies to go public and filtering them into people's retirement funds. I think it's basically to make it fall on us for for their bad decision making as a business. But hey, maybe we are in prime time for us to say enough is a fucking enough. And this is like what I'm really hoping is happening with all of this energy now and in this portal is that like we are finally going to realize like we have power. We have collective power and we have the ability to start choosing and opting out of things, whatever that looks like, and questioning how am I still empowering systems or where am I not recognizing that I actually hold power? You know, something I always think about that, you know, the average American is a woman. So like we are the majority and not minorities yet. Like, so I don't know, banding together, recognizing our collective power, recognizing that like we have, we have influence more than maybe we acknowledge.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I remember reading a thing that like, if all American women decided to not buy beauty products for 1 week, it gave a list of all of the companies that would be done. And it's wild. And that's the thing is Aquarius, the sign of Aquarius is the sign of the collective, of the people. And again, so we have this North Node switch. We have Pluto in Aquarius. I believe it's in 2027. They meet up.
Oh.
And Pluto in Aquarius is returning power to the people.
Hey.
Yeah. So what you just said.
Destiny. That is like where we're heading.
Yeah. Yeah, that is
And
where we're heading.
wow, that's going to be so interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it is and like that kind of the spark energy begins this month.
Yeah. I believe you and I have been talking about this for years, but
Yeah.
2025, 2026, 2027, like if you want to, take a zoom out, like those are the years where society changes. So we're already like, if you think about it, this is the
Mhm.
moment where we're halfway through.
Yep.
And so it's like, and this is where really, I think in human design, their shift with that, cross of the phoenix or whatever is February of 2027. So it's like it is, I like your theme. It's kind of go time, but like
Right.
not in the way that we maybe have thought about in the past. Like how are you taking
Mhm.
action in a way that's like very differently than you've taken action in the past actually?
Yes. And that's the thing is there, and because Pluto plays a big role, Uranus plays a big role. Uranus is all about innovation. It is about, and it's that quote that, to get where you've never been, you have to do what you've never done.
Yes. Ooh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Woo! Yeah.
Absolutely. It made my
Yeah.
nipples hard. That was a good one.
But yeah, it's just there's so much. And what I want to reiterate is it is natural during this time and over the next few years. I've said this so many times, our brains like what is familiar.
Mm-hmm.
And so even when we can, you and I are talking about this, we're excited about where things are going. And we are all going to experience times, no matter how excited we are, where we're going to be scared again. Our brains will be like, whoa, no,
Right.
let's go back. Let's go back. And recognizing that we are going to have those times, and then to allow ourselves to continue to move while honoring ourselves. Because the other thing too is there's no more exclusive prize for doing something first. There's
Mm.
no exclusive prize for this is the only right way.
Yeah.
It's recognizing that we're all out here exploring, and we're all out here innovating, and recognizing when we do this thing, recognizing for what it is, and allowing that to be wisdom that we process, and then we continue to act sovereignly.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
love that. And there seems, it is, I think when I heard something the other day that Americans are more scared of going broke than dying.
Yeah.
And I think that so much of our wounding and our fear, maybe I'm just speaking to myself, but is around going broke.
Mhm.
And this idea of like, well, but yet, why am I fighting for a money system that
Mhm.
is so hugely problematic now that we have trillionaires and like it's the turn against the billionaires and the all of this, and I think that there
Mhm.
is a return, even like something I'm noticing is like, or that I'm sensing that I cannot logically explain, but I feel very much I feel pretty aligned with the idea that it's not about like a few people at the top and everyone falling into line underneath. With that Aquarian energy, it's like this distribution. It's the non-central, it's decentralized. They're saying like
Right.
we're very big getting into decentralization, and we've
Yes.
heard about that, from a money system. But what about decentralized in like your area of expertise? I don't think
Mhm.
it's like the one yoga master that everyone follows. I think,
Right.
and that has like 200,000 students. It's spread amongst the
Yes.
yogis, and then it's each yogi having 20 students, and it's like this
Mhm.
redistribution of energetic power from the claws of that
Yes.
Leo. It's also why I'm like, we know the most self-centered, problematic Leo, not, he's a Gemini, but
But he's
egoic,
he's got some Leo tendencies, some low vibe Leo tendencies.
Yes, we all know who we're talking about, and I feel like this is the beginning of the end for him because people, his behavior is falling into the south node, which means that it's displaying all the problematic qualities of Leo, and it's going to be essentially just, liberate it.
Yes.
Can I tell you the coolest thing I heard the other day? I heard it from Ann Ortley. I talk about her sometimes. She's an astrologer. We all know we're talking about Trump, by the way. And in case that wasn't clear, in case you didn't figure he was a Gemini, but like, but everyone, he's a narcissist. He's a narcissist. I didn't even realize this because I'm not a big mythology head, but in mythology, Narcissus, and I'm like, oh yeah, I do remember the story. Narcissus died through the reflection pool.
Yeah.
Now, Trump, the DC reflection pool. The death of the narcissist. How symbolic is that? Dude, oh my God. I know it took because I was listening to it with a friend and I was like, "Did you catch that?" And she was like, "I don't get it." And I was like, and she was like, "What?" And so I do feel like if the universe is being symbolic right now, it is that is literally the reflection of the narcissist in the reflection pool, and that's how narcissist mythology died. So.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be literally falling into the reflection pool. We just know. And here's something else that came to me the other day. We're just all over the place. But like these weird, we've never been linear. These weird like synchronicities or symbols or signs, like something like this, we're like, wow, that seems like too good. That seems so spot on. That's just life snapping into place. Like you're finding alignment and it's like, okay, when these things happen, it's like, yes, do you see things snapping into place?
Yes. And I think that's what's so interesting. Going a little ways back, you were talking about, the money system, that when we worry about being broke, we realize like, I don't even like this system. This is a toxic system. The final thing I'll just mention is, Chiron entered Taurus at the end of June. It's going to be in Taurus for the next 7 years. And so I know some of us, like you and I, have our natal Chiron in Taurus. So we're going to be approaching our Chiron return, which is just where Chiron comes back to where it was when you were born. But overall, like, we are collectively recalibrating how we measure self-worth, how we measure security. And I had read an article that was talking about this time period is about reclaiming the American dream.
Oh.
Because part of what is going on and part of how we inadvertently got the billionaires and this fake ass trillionaire, I'm sorry, like there was so much finagling to get that label. That's a different podcast.
Yeah. Well, yes.
We'll have my Capricorn dad on, and he will rant for 2 hours about how that was fake. But the thing is like a lot of what had happened is, and you had mentioned this about a lot of people don't realize like $1 million is closer to 1,000 than it is to $1 billion, and billion has reached it's such an amount that our brains literally cannot comprehend. But what the messaging has been is, oh, you don't want to go after them because don't you want to be one? And there's all of these studies about like what you would have to do, even with investment, average investment in the stock market or in real estate or the conventional ways that we, Bitcoin, whatever it might be, what you would have to do and how long you would have to work at that to become a billionaire. And long term, there's this reset. It's not, okay, I know a lot of politicians are like, they're trying to make you go back to communism. That's not what's happening. But it's recognizing that the power has tipped so far out of balance that this handful of people have all of the resources, and that even those of us who are working as hard as we can, or living authentically, there is no hope for 99% of the population to ever reach, like, not even that level, but
99.999% of the
yeah,
population. Like,
yeah,
it's, yes, and I do think that I love that the conversations are coming up around
yeah.
that, of like, okay, stop being like, oh, you make $100,000 a year and somehow you think that you are on the side of the billionaires, like that is,
Mhm.
no.
Yeah.
And once you become a billionaire, like the way that the money system works is that it just is so in their favor that they're gonna just
Oh yeah.
make more and more and more without ever really, and all that money is made off of the back of other people's labor.
Yeah.
No one earns $1 billion.
Right.
Like, this is
Right.
another podcast. We're gonna
Right.
take a deep breath and calm down. But I do like the idea of, like, I mean, we're seeing what, like, Mamdani in New York
Mm.
City, and what, like, that democratic socialism looks like, which I think if
People are
anyone's
so
paying,
mad at him planting those trees.
I know, I was like, I think that I'm a democratic socialist. Like, this is what I think this is what everyone should want, in my opinion, which is obviously just my opinion. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, there is, like, we're starting to see an emergence of other ways of doing things, and others, like, oh, okay, this isn't I don't think anyone in public office has claimed I'm a democratic socialist before him, and we're seeing,
Mm-hmm.
okay, this is an alternative option that's actually really successful.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, that's
Yeah.
really cool to see that this is something else with this. So you Chiron and Taurus.
Yes. And my message to the American people is democratic socialism is not the same as communism
Oh,
as seen in the Soviet Union. Like, that is what mainstream media is always like. Socialism and communism are two different things.
yeah.
Within socialism, you can still accumulate wealth, you can still own property. Democratic socialism, if you look at some of the most successful countries in the world with the happiest citizens and the healthiest citizens, that's what they operate under.
Yeah.
Um, like, recognize the propaganda.
I know, it's almost like it wouldn't benefit some people in power. And so
I
that, I
know.
think, is a really good thing that we can take away. Is like, really, when we're holding these beliefs that it has to be this way, that
Yes.
this is the only way, who is that benefiting? And
Right.
a lot of it is just deconstructing our belief that it has to be the only way.
Yes. Yes. And
Because
that's the theme is we are deconstructing the linear path, and we're deconstructing the binary, meaning one right way and then wrong. Like,
yeah.
we're deconstructing that. Yeah, that's July, you guys.
So that's it. It's just, everything changes. Expect the unexpected. But from a not like fatalist way. And it's like, the future astrology can predict the energy, it can forecast, the potential, human engagement with it, but it's not an oracle. We have no idea what's going to happen, but that something is going to change, and so just be ready for it. And then the wisdom, the medicine is in the astrology as well, right? Like, not clinging to old systems, trusting. What did you say? It's the illogical, there's
truth without logic.
It's truth without logic, and a lot of that comes with listening to your body, deconstructing beliefs that, like, things can't be. That's something that I've been playing with, of like, being off of social media. I haven't been sending many, I haven't sent a newsletter, I haven't really communicated outside my immediate groups. I've been really active in my work, but just not kind of engaging with the rest of the world right now. And it's really, I highly suggest, if that is something where you just kind of are feeling anxiety or something like that, is to take that break, because you can really start to see, oh, okay, I was being influenced, or I am maybe not as sovereign or liberated as I think I am.
Yeah, that's so powerful too. And that's kind of the thing, is like, we're in this process. July is a catalyst moving through, arguably the next several years, but this is where we begin the journey of healing our self-worth. Yeah.
Beautiful, because I think, and
Mhm.
I think a lot of us with the Chiron in the Taurus have inherent like
Oh,
personal
yeah.
value wounding, because
Mhm.
Taurus is ruled by Venus. Venus is
Mhm.
like what we value, and so I think I could see Chiron moving through, definitely asking us to like, hey, remember what it is you do value.
Mhm.
Do you value that job title, or do you value a peaceful nervous system?
Yes.
Do you value, um do you see your inherent value based on external approval, or can you return to yourself and like remember who the fuck you are?
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and that is, you're not gonna get it all figured out by July 31st.
Oh,
Um,
this is
like, no, this is this is the opening.
yes, we're like playing like in the we're playing in like the opening riff still.
Right. But it's just when we start to deconstruct, we start to look at where we have been putting our energy in places that were not serving us.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, and that brings you back to what you said at the beginning, which is like kind of the hustle
Mhm.
culture. It can look really different. It's not always just like me and my briefcase,
Right.
going into my office job. Like we hustle in so many different areas of our life. Like, are you unnecessarily like putting so much pressure on yourself in your dance classes, or in
Right.
your mystical studies, or in your relationships, or in your expectations in your home life? So yeah, it can look
Mhm.
a lot, it can look different in different areas of our life, but it is kind of rooted in that idea of like, work harder.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
not doing enough. You are not enough unless your value is earned. And
Yeah. Yeah, your value is earned or you are fitting within an external parameter.
yeah.
Like a big game changer for me was I've always been active. I was a distance runner. I've run marathons before, but it used to be I
Spoiler,
lived.
Tara and I both ran the 3200 2 mile race in high school.
Yeah,
Go
we
on.
did. Yes, track and field. And I remember I used to work out to stay skinny.
Mhm.
I used to count calories. I used to weigh myself. It was always about these numbers.
Mhm.
And for any of y'all who have done dance or pole especially, or yoga, you start to build muscle. And I had to decondition from that number being a value about
Mm.
me. And so now I remember I went in for a checkup, and there's the bullshit BMI chart.
Yes.
So if you look at the number I weigh and then my height, like it's like she's obese. Oh my god! Which again, BMI is bullshit. And I remember like the doctor looked at it and like looked at me, and she was just like, "Oh, are you an athlete?" And I was like, "I'm a dancer," and like whatever. And okay, when I was 22, that would have fucking wrecked me.
Mhm.
Um, and now it's like my value is within me. It's when I want to push myself, it's not to fit into some jeans. It's I
Yeah.
want to see if I can do this movement more fluidly, or I want to see if I have the strength to pull myself up into this, whatever it might be. But it's about my own system, and it took years to deconstruct that, but that's just like a basic everyday example.
Yeah. Oh, I
Yeah.
think that's a great example. And like, yes,
Hmm.
more of that. I've definitely been on the hype train recently of like, speaking of Jupiter expanding things, when Jupiter
Hmm.
crossed my sun last year, I gained a bunch of weight. It will expand you. And
Yes. I got like all the
literally, and it's really fun to be in a position now where I'm like, I don't want to care, and I don't want
yeah.
to like, it's boring for me to be like,
Hmm.
oh, like, you've gained a bunch of weight, you should start losing weight. I'm like, no, I think that's one of the systems that I'm being called to personally
Hmm.
say I'm not participating in this system anymore, which is like the beauty standards put
Yep.
on women. And so like, that's a
Hmm.
way of me saying, okay, I gained weight and I'm not going to freak out,
Hmm.
because like, I still feel healthy. I still move my body. I still, I'm really happy. And so it feels like really punk rock and anti-patriarchy.
It
and
is.
and think about, maybe there's ways in your life that maybe you want to instantly devalue yourself and say, oh, well, this is something that I need to like freak out about, and think about, okay, if I'm feeding that, am I feeding a structure that I don't even want to put energy towards, that I would appreciate, that I don't feel like is serving me or the greater good? And that's, it's just, it's so nebulous. It's so great. This is not black and white. It's not saying like I'm going to use beans to, to pay my mortgage now or something. Like we have to participate. We have to participate in the systems that we exist in. But how can you safely, without like, pulling the rug out of under yourself, how can you start to choose to start pulling yourself away from the systems, whatever that looks like? Where we've talked about this, we're both where you shop, how you're adhering to beauty standards, who you are investing in, who the media you consume or don't, how you choose not to consume, things like that.
Yeah. So it all starts this month, baby.
Ooh, I'm so excited. Well, Tara, is there any way you want to wrap this up? Do you have any final thoughts, shares, suggestions for us for July?
I would just say, again, and I know I say this every month, and the reason why I have said this every month is because of we've moved from earth and water primary placements into fire and air. And so it becomes really, really important that we stay grounded in ourselves and we find some form of healthy embodied movement to dissipate energy, because it becomes really easy to be mentally overloaded. And so that's just what I recommend. And finding a way, rituals that help you to come back to yourself. That's the biggest thing. Yeah, that's the biggest thing.
We're always seeking energetic harmony in the universe, right? And so those who don't know, fire and air are the masculine signs, and the masculine energies. So I do really think to find harmony, we are being called into our feminine as well. I do see this as the rise of the feminine in order to act as that natural counterbalance to it. So the embodiment, the feeling, the not logicking, the intuiting, all of that. So yes. Ooh, Tara, so good. You're and honestly, very big love to you. I know, we're not doing the multiverse anymore, and so you are just doing this out of the kindness of your heart. So
I love y'all.
Yeah. Well, tell us, how can we support your work? How can we support you?
Okay, so I am on Substack. I'm Tara Valkyrie. You can find me there. I'm on the Instagram. I'll be posting a link on there and on my Substack for if you want to join my email list. Right now, I have overcome my Virgo moon tendency to wait so everything's perfect. So if you show up right now, there's dust everywhere. There's spiders in the corner. But anyway, we're getting stuff started. That's going to be, where I start with the little microcosm that I'm building for astro awareness. So yeah, and I also started YouTube as well. So again, nothing on that yet, but
well, this is the thing, keep posting on. I'll put your links in the show notes so everyone can link, and then you'll share on those things when you have other things. But you did the thing that you said you started. You got started.
I started.
And guess what? Whenever you start something new, it's going to be messy and not cute, but who cares? Messy is the new clean girl aesthetic.
Messy is the new girl boss. I don't know.
Oh, Tara, we love you so much. Thank you so much. Do you want to give us our sign off? And thank you everyone for listening.
Yes. Love yourselves, love each other, and happy stargazing.
Bye. Thank you for joining. Follow me on Instagram at crimson.minx and visit Esoerotic.com to learn to live more fully and unapologetically in your magnetic power, sensual pleasure, and unlimited creative potential.